My girlfriend laughed in front of my friends and said, "He's cute for now, but I'm going to marry someone rich." I said, "Makes sense." The next week I accepted a job in another state, broke the lease, and packed my things. When she came home to an empty apartment, and a forwarded photo of my new office view. I, 29, male, had been with Emma, 27, for 2.5 years. I thought we were building something real. We had moved into a nice 2-bedroom apartment in Denver 6 months earlier, split the rent 50-50, talked about long-term plans in the vague way couples do when they are not quite ready to propose, but not looking for exits either. Then she said the words that ended everything. We were at Marcus and Jenna's place for dinner. 6 of us around their dining table, wine glasses half empty, everyone relaxed and laughing. Emma had 3 glasses in by the time dessert came out. She was telling a story about her college roommate who married a tech CEO, and someone made a joke about sugar daddies. Emma laughed, gestured at me with her wine glass, and said it loud enough for the whole table to hear. "He's cute for now, but I'm going to marry someone rich." The room went quiet. Marcus looked at his plate. Jenna's smile froze. I could feel 4 sets of eyes on me, waiting to see how I would react. I looked at Emma. She was still smiling, like she had made a harmless joke. I kept my voice calm, almost bored. "Makes sense." Then I stood up, cleared my plate, and asked Marcus if he wanted help with the dishes. The conversation moved on. Emma kept drinking. No one brought it up again that night. But something inside me turned cold and stayed that way. Over the next 7 days, I moved in complete silence. By the time Emma came home from her girls' trip the following weekend, I was already 2 states away. The apartment she walked into was empty except for her furniture, her clothes, and 1 envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside was a printed photo of my new corner office overlooking Puget Sound and a single line. "Found someone rich. Me. Good luck with your search." This is how I left a relationship that was already over the moment she said those words out loud. Emma and I met through work friends. She was in marketing for a mid-sized firm downtown. I was a software developer at a startup that got acquired 6 months into our relationship. The acquisition gave me decent stock options, but not life-changing money. I still lived carefully, drove a 7-year-old Honda, cooked at home most nights, saved aggressively. Emma made slightly less than I did, but her spending habits were different. New handbags every season, girls' trips to Miami and Scottsdale, constant brunch plans. I never judged her for it. Money is personal. She worked hard. She earned her paycheck. She could spend it how she wanted. But I noticed how she talked about her friends' relationships. Whose boyfriend bought them a car. Whose fiancé had family money. Whose husband was a surgeon. It was never overt, just little comments. Can you imagine having that kind of security? Or, "I wish we could travel like that." At first I thought it was normal daydreaming. Everyone wants financial comfort. But the comments kept coming. When we toured the apartment, she wanted the upgraded unit with the view. I suggested we stick to our budget. She pouted for 2 days. When I mentioned putting extra money into my retirement account, she asked why I was not prioritizing our experiences now. When her sister got engaged to a portfolio manager, Emma posted 6 Instagram stories about the ring and the proposal location. Red flags are easy to ignore when someone is affectionate in private. Emma was good at that. She cooked my favorite meals when I had rough work weeks. She laughed at my bad jokes. She said, "I love you" first, 3 months in, drunk at a rooftop bar, and I said it back because I meant it. But under the surface, I felt like I was being auditioned. Not for who I was, but for who I might become financially. The dinner party was on a Friday. Marcus and Jenna were good people. We had known them for a year, double-dated a few times, played board games at their place. That night started normal. Jenna made lasagna. Marcus opened 2 bottles of red wine. The other couple there, David and Priya, were telling stories about their honeymoon in Greece. The conversation drifted to wedding costs. Priya mentioned how her parents helped with the reception. David joked that he sold his motorcycle to afford the photographer. Everyone was relaxed, trading light complaints about money in that way people do when they are financially comfortable enough to find it funny. Then Emma, on her 3rd glass of wine, jumped in with the college roommate story. The roommate had dated casually through her 20s, then met a guy who had just sold his 2nd company. 6 months later, they were engaged. Emma said the wedding was at a vineyard in Napa, and the ring was 4 carats. David laughed and said something about aiming high. Jenna made a joke about finding rich husbands for all of us. That is when Emma turned to me, grinned, and said it. He's cute for now, but I'm going to marry someone rich. The room did not just go quiet. It went cold. Marcus put his fork down. Jenna's face tightened. Priya looked at David like she wanted to leave. I saw Emma realize, half a second too late, that she had miscalculated. But she did not backtrack. She laughed, a little too loud, like she could reset the moment with volume. I'm kidding. Obviously. I looked at her for 3 seconds. Then I said, makes sense, and stood up. I walked into the kitchen with my plate and asked Marcus if he needed help loading the dishwasher. He followed me, grateful for the exit. We spent 5 minutes in silence, rinsing plates and arranging them in neat rows. When we came back, the conversation had moved on to hiking trails. Emma kept drinking. She touched my arm twice during the rest of the night, trying to read my mood. I stayed polite. I smiled when appropriate. I did not bring it up in the car ride home. That night, Emma fell asleep within 10 minutes of getting into bed. I lay awake until 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, feeling something click into place. Not anger, not even hurt, just clarity. She had said out loud what I already suspected. I was a placeholder. Saturday morning, I woke up early. Emma was still asleep, one arm thrown over my side of the bed. I got up quietly, made coffee, and sat on the couch with my laptop. I opened my email and scrolled through the last 3 months of recruiting messages. There were 6 active conversations. 3 of them were courtesy follow-ups I had politely declined. 2 were local roles I was not interested in. The 6th was from a recruiter at a software company in Seattle. Senior developer position, 30% pay bump, stock options, full relocation package. I had interviewed twice over Zoom, mostly out of curiosity. The 3rd interview had been scheduled for the following week, but I had been dragging my feet on confirming it. Now I opened the email thread and typed a reply. Still interested. Let me know when you want to schedule the final round. The recruiter responded in 40 minutes. We set up the interview for Tuesday at 10 a.m. I spent the rest of the weekend acting normal. Emma and I went to brunch. She did not mention the dinner party. I did not either. On Sunday night, I prepped for the interview while she watched Netflix in the bedroom. She came out once to ask if I wanted snacks. I said no thanks, and she went back to her show. Tuesday morning, I took the interview from a coffee shop 3 blocks from the apartment. The call lasted 90 minutes. They made an offer by Thursday afternoon. $95,000 base salary, $15,000 signing bonus. For year stock vest, relocation covered up to $10,000. Start date, 3 weeks from Monday. I accepted in writing the same day. On Friday, I called the landlord. His name was Ron, mid-50s, owned 4 properties in our neighborhood. I had always paid rent on time, never caused problems. He picked up on the second ring. I told him I was relocating for work and needed to break the lease. We had 8 months left. I offered to pay 2 months penalty plus forfeit the security deposit. Ron paused, then said he appreciated the heads up and would find new tenants quickly. The penalty would cover his gap. We agreed to sign the paperwork the following Monday. Saturday, I rented a storage unit across town. 10 by 15, climate-controlled, month to month. I paid 3 months up front in cash. Sunday, I went to a UPS store and bought 20 heavy-duty boxes, packing tape, and bubble wrap. I brought everything back to the apartment while Emma was at yoga. I stacked the boxes in the closet and left the tape in my car. Monday, I signed the lease termination with Ron in his office downtown. He handed me a copy and asked where I was headed. I told him Seattle. He wished me luck. That night, Emma asked if I wanted to order Thai food. I said sure. We ate on the couch, watched half a movie, went to bed. She fell asleep holding my hand. Tuesday, I called a moving company. I explained the timeline. They had availability the following Saturday. I booked them for 8 a.m., paid the deposit over the phone, confirmed twice that they understood only my furniture and boxes were going into the truck. Nothing belonging to Emma. Wednesday, I started packing. I worked from home that day while Emma was at the office. I filled 6 boxes with books, files, clothes, kitchen items I had brought into the apartment. I labeled everything in plain block letters: bedroom, kitchen, office. I stacked them in the back of the closet behind winter coats. Thursday, I went to FedEx and printed a photo I had saved on my phone. It was a shot from the Seattle office rooftop, the kind they use in recruiting materials. Corner office view, glass walls, Puget Sound in the background, mountains on the horizon. I printed it on glossy paper, 8 by 10, and slipped it into a plain white envelope. On a blank card inside, I wrote one sentence: Found someone rich. Me. Good luck with your search. Friday, Emma told me she was going to Scottsdale for the weekend with her girlfriends. They had planned it a month earlier. She asked if I minded. I told her to have fun, kissed her forehead, and said I would miss her. She left Saturday morning at 6 a.m. in an Uber to the airport. At 7:45, the movers arrived. The crew was 3 guys in navy blue shirts. I had labeled everything clearly. They took one walk through the apartment, confirmed which furniture was mine, and started loading. By 9:30, the couch I had bought, the desk, my bed frame, nightstand, bookshelves, dresser, kitchen table, and all 20 boxes were in the truck. I walked through the apartment one last time. Emma's stuff was everywhere. Her dresser, her vanity, her jewelry stand, her shoes in neat rows by the door. The TV was hers. The coffee table was hers. I left it all exactly as it was. The only thing I took that she might have considered shared was the French press, because I had bought it. I left her the Keurig. I placed the envelope on the kitchen counter, right in the center where she would see it first thing. Then I locked the door, slid the key under the mat, and followed the moving truck to the storage unit. By noon, everything I owned was inside a 10 by 15 concrete room in southeast Denver. I closed the door, locked it, and drove to a hotel near the airport. I had a flight to Seattle the next morning at 8. That night, I turned off my phone and slept better than I had in months. Emma called 16 times on Sunday. I did not answer. I was at 35,000 feet when the first voicemail came through. I did not listen to it until I landed in Seattle. Her voice was frantic. "Jake, where are you? The apartment is empty. Your stuff is gone. What the hell is going on? Call me back right now." The second voicemail came 10 minutes later. "This is not funny. Did we get robbed? Why is your furniture gone? I'm calling the landlord." The third one was angrier. "Ron said you broke the lease. You moved out. Without telling me. Are you serious right now?" The fourth one was crying. "Please just call me. I don't understand. We can talk about this. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Just call me." I did not call her back. Instead, I texted once, at 3 p.m. Seattle time. "You said you were going to marry someone rich. I decided to become that for myself. Good luck finding what you were looking for." Then I blocked her number. By Monday night, the fallout hit the group chat. Jenna texted me first, private message. "Emma is losing it. She showed up at our place this morning crying. Said you left without warning. What happened?" I replied simply. "She told me at your dinner party that I was cute for now, but she was going to marry someone rich." I took her seriously. Jenna did not respond for an hour. Then, oh my God, I thought she was just drunk. She was. Drunk people tell the truth. Jenna sent a screenshot 20 minutes later. It was from a group chat Emma had with her girlfriends, a message from 3 months earlier. Emma had written, "Jake is great, but I'm not trying to live in a mid-tier apartment forever. My college roommate's husband just bought her a Tesla. I want that life." Jenna added, "I found this because Priya is in that group chat too. She sent it to me after Emma called her this morning trying to get your new number. Priya said Emma has been saying stuff like this for months." I saved the screenshot but did not respond. There was nothing left to say. Tuesday I started my new job. The office was everything the photo promised. Glass walls, open floor plan, coffee bar on every floor, catered lunches on Wednesdays. My team lead introduced me to 15 people in the first hour. Everyone was friendly. No one asked about my personal life. I found an apartment in Capitol Hill that afternoon. 1 bedroom, 10th floor, view of the city. I signed the lease the same week and moved in the following Saturday. The movers brought my furniture up from storage. I unpacked slowly, hung photos, set up my desk by the window. It felt like starting over. It felt like freedom. Emma kept trying. She created new Instagram accounts to message me. She sent emails. She asked Marcus and Jenna to forward messages. Every message was some variation of the same thing. She did not mean it. She was drunk. She loved me. She wanted to fix things. But the screenshot Jenna sent told me everything. Emma had been planning her exit for months. I was never the endgame. I was the reliable placeholder until someone with more money came along. The only difference was I left first. 3 weeks later, Marcus called me. He did not ask for permission, just said he needed to tell me something. "Emma is in bad shape, man. She is staying with her parents. She had to move out of the apartment because she could not afford it alone. She has been calling everyone trying to get your number." Jenna told her to stop. I asked why he was telling me this. He said because Emma was spreading a version of the story where I abandoned her out of nowhere over a joke. He wanted me to know that Jenna had shut that down hard. She showed people the screenshot. She told them what Emma said at the dinner party. The narrative flipped fast. People are not buying her story anymore, Marcus said. Priya and David stopped talking to her. A couple of other people in our group did too. She made her bed. I thanked him for the update and told him I appreciated his honesty. Then I asked him to stop passing along information. I did not need to know what happened to Emma after I left. It was not my problem anymore. He agreed. That was the last time we talked about her. 6 months later, I was sitting in my apartment in Seattle, drinking coffee, looking out at the city lights. My phone buzzed. It was a LinkedIn notification. Someone had viewed my profile. I clicked it out of curiosity. It was Emma. Her profile picture was new. She worked at the same marketing firm, same title. In her About section, she had written something generic about growth and resilience. I did not block her on LinkedIn. I just closed the app and went back to my coffee. The truth is, I did not leave because I wanted revenge. I left because she told me, out loud and in front of people, that I was temporary. I believed her, and I decided I would rather be temporary on my own terms than stay and watch her trade up the moment someone better came along. Some people spend years trying to figure out if their partner really loves them. I got my answer at a dinner party over lasagna and red wine. She loved the idea of me, the placeholder, the safe option, while she kept her eyes open for someone richer. So I gave her what she wanted. I got out of her way. And in the process, I built the life she thought she needed someone else to give her. The apartment in Seattle has floor-to-ceiling windows. My salary increased again after my first performance review. I maxed out my 401k, started a side project that might turn into something, and bought a car I actually like. Not to impress anyone, just because I could. Emma wanted someone rich. I became that person, just not for her. A year later, Jenna sent me one final update. She said Emma got engaged. The guy worked in finance, had family money, drove a Range Rover. Jenna saw the ring on Instagram. 3 carats, emerald cut. The proposal was at a resort in Cabo. Jenna added, she got what she wanted, but she asks about you sometimes. Priya told me she cried at her bachelorette party and said she made the biggest mistake of her life. I read the message twice. Then I replied, I hope she is happy. I really do. And I meant it. Not because I forgave her. Not because I wanted her back. But because holding on to anger takes energy, and I had better things to do with mine. I built a life I am proud of. I wake up every day in an apartment I chose, doing work I enjoy, without having to wonder if I am enough. That is worth more than any ring, any Range Rover, any resort proposal. Emma said I was cute for now. She was right. I was temporary. But so was she. The difference is, I knew when to leave.